Now the world will see the power of Israel, which is not worldly, this power they got always from God. Israel faced more wars than any other nation in the whole human history, and its every holy book accepted and announced that no one can destroy Israel. In all human history, whoever wanted to destroy Israel, they destroyed by God, because it's a promised nation. Let's check current affairs in Gaza and Israel. More than 230 Gazans were also killed when Israel responded with one of its most devastating days of retaliatory strikes. "We will take mighty vengeance on this black day," Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said. "Hamas launched a cruel and wicked war. We will win this war, but the price is too heavy to bear," he said. "Hamas wants to murder us all. This is an enemy that murders mothers and children in their homes, in their beds. An enemy that abducts elderly, children, teenage girls." Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh said the assault that had begun in Gaza would spread to the West Bank and Jerusalem. "This was the morning of defeat and humiliation upon our enemy, its soldiers and its settlers," he said in a speech. "What happened reveals the greatness of our preparation. What happened today reveals the weakness of the enemy." Bodies of Israeli civilians were strewn across the streets of Sderot in southern Israel, near Gaza, surrounded by broken glass. The bodies of a woman and a man were sprawled across the front seats of a car. "I went out. I saw loads of bodies of terrorists, civilians, cars shot up. A sea of bodies inside Sderot along the road. Other places, loads of bodies," said Shlomi from Sderot. Terrified Israelis, barricaded into safe rooms, recounted their plight by phone on live TV. Esther Borachov, who fled a dance rave party attacked by the gunman, told Reuters she survived by playing dead in a car after the driver trying to help her escape was shot point blank. "I couldn't move my legs," she told Reuters at the hospital. "Soldiers came and took us away to the bushes." Senior military officers were among those killed in fighting near Gaza on Saturday, the Israeli military said. In Gaza, black smoke and orange flames billowed into the sky from a high-rise tower hit by an Israeli retaliatory strike. Crowds of mourners carried the bodies of freshly killed militants through the streets, wrapped in green Hamas flags. Gaza's dead and wounded were carried into crumbling and overcrowded hospitals with severe shortages of medical supplies and equipment. The health ministry said 232 people had been killed and at least 1,700 wounded. Streets were deserted apart from ambulances racing to the scenes of airstrikes. Israel cut the power, plunging the city into darkness. Biden offers support to Netanyahu. Western countries, led by the United States, denounced the Palestinian attack and pledged support for Israel. At the White House, President Joe Biden went on national television to say Israel had the right to defend itself and issued a blunt warning. "This is not a moment for any party hostile to Israel to exploit these attacks to seek advantage. The world is watching," he said. A senior Biden administration told reporters that the United States was in intense talks with Israel about its particular needs as it responds to the attack, noting that Washington always shares timely intelligence. The official said the United States is working with other governments to make sure the crisis does not spread and is contained to Gaza. Across the Middle East, there were demonstrations in support of Hamas, with Israeli and U.S. flags set on fire and marchers waving Palestinian flags in Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. The Hamas attack was openly praised by Iran and by Hezbollah, Iran's Lebanese allies. Long after nightfall, residents had yet to be given the all-clear to go home. It's not over because the army hasn't said the kibbutz is clear of terrorists. Danny Rahamim told Reuters by telephone from the shelter where he was still hiding in Nahal Oz, close to the Gaza fence. Gunfire had subsided, but regular explosions could still be heard. Hamas said it fired a fresh volley of 150 rockets toward Tel Aviv on Saturday evening in retaliation for an Israeli airstrike that took down a high-rise building with more than 100 apartments. Hamas deputy chief Saleh al-Aruri told Al Jazeera that the group was holding a large number of Israeli captives, including senior officials. He said Hamas had enough captives to make Israel free all Palestinians in its jails. The Israeli military confirmed Israelis were being held in Gaza. A military spokesman said Israel could mobilize up to hundreds of thousands of reservists and was also prepared for war on its northern front against Lebanon's Hezbollah group. Hamas, which advocates Israel's destruction, said the attack was driven by what it said